Football players got in trouble. I just didn't. I thought of football players getting in trouble, and I thought about how dumbfounding it is that two of these guys got in trouble as they're right on the cusp of bigger contracts in glory.
Yeah.
Like they're right there.
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing?
Nose tackle, especially.
The nose tackle for Green Bay. He's in negotiations for a new long-term deal to be the anchor of that defensive line. People don't know who he is.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure how to pronounce his name.
LaTroy Guion.
I don't know.
We'll figure that out.
But still, he's a really good player from Florida State.
Yeah.
He's really good. And you just say, well, what are you thinking? What are you doing? But Stephen A. has preached about this for years on this show. What were you thinking? Nothing. You weren't thinking anything. And then Joseph Randle. He's a really talented young man. He is. Every time he touched the ball this year, good things happen.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe he had his wake-up call with the shoplifting. And I thought he was so shamed by that, maybe that'll wake him up and send him down the right path. Well, this is not a huge thing, this marijuana thing at the hotel, but it's still, listen, they could lose DeMarco Murray. They could. He could keep going. He could be the guy next year. He could be your starting running back.
Go ahead, Skip. Here's the problem, is that, and I get it, we fall in love with talent. We fall in love with talent, so we'll give it another chance. I mean, you talk about DeMar, you talk about Randall, his deal with the underwear, he ended up getting a commercial.
Right.
It became almost like a joke. Like, really? I mean, what are we doing here? And I think it's over and over. We see it, and then we say we got to give a guy another chance. I get all that, but here's the problem: you're just hurting the image of the whole league.
Okay, you are. But see, for most fans, I think it goes in one eye and out the other.
It does,
day after day.
It does. But Stephen A. is from the old school like me, and he's watching this unfold.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it unfold. And like my daddy used to say, son, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Not that guy.
Well, you know what it is, Coach, and it's something we haven't brought up before. But Skip, I need you to hear what I'm about to say, and I appreciate where you were coming from, and I appreciate your comments about that. But you also have to understand that you're in the minority, and you're going to think differently than myself and Coach Herm Edwards when it comes to this reality. When you sit there and say you just looked at a football player, you didn't look at a black football player. It's not that we're looking at a black football player. We're looking at black men. We're looking at the imagery, and we're looking at the residual impact that it ultimately is going to have when folks are walking out there in the world who don't have those opportunities, but they happen to be black, but they happen to carry themselves in a similar situation to some of these guys in the public eye, and how people are going to perceive them to be before giving them an opportunity to show who they truly are. And also we take into account, we're about to have Snoop Dogg on in a few minutes and stuff like that. We all know that him and many others, particularly in the hip-hop community, have gone through their trials and tribulations throughout life. But the point is, you're coming from the depths, and you climb and climb and climb. And the person and the man that you become ultimately is what we have to judge you by, and we grow to appreciate it because we understand the depths with which you come. Whereas in the case of an NFL player, you've already arrived, and now you're regressing because you got money and you got paid. Now you're acting worse than you did when you were younger.
Yeah, Stephen A. says it's right.
That's the difference.
You reach your ultimate goal, and now you want to screw it up.
Right. You got the blessings that you prayed for, and now you don't know how to behave when you get the
Thank you, Kerry.
Don't be that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy.
Yep.
Let somebody else
messing with your blessing.
Messing with your blessing. Stephen A. Smith, we're going to let Coach go. We got to get him out of here.